You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Today's Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021, and this is your daily Star Trek news from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. On today's show, the crowdfunding campaign for the Star Trek Voyager documentary takes off at warp speed. Marina Sirtis has left America for the UK, and I've got this week's Trek trivia. I'm Alison Pitt, and today's show is supported by people like you through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/Daily Star Trek News. First up, back in January, we told you about the crowdfunding campaign for the upcoming Star Trek Voyager documentary from 455 Films, the same team that brought you For the Love of Spock and What We Left Behind. The campaign finally launched on Indiegogo on Monday. To say that Voyager fans rose to the occasion would be a massive understatement. Within hours of launching, the campaign had already exceeded the original goal of $150,000. As of this recording, fans had pledged more than $400,000 toward the project, with the entire month of March still left in the campaign. By completely obliterating the initial goal, the production team will be able to pursue their stretch goals for the film. That includes filming the official cast reunion at Destination Star Trek London this November, adding additional graphics and animation to the film, and extending the length of the documentary to 90-plus minutes. The next stretch goal is set at $500,000, and it will allow the Voyager documentary to have its own bespoke musical score composed and recorded for the film. With more than 4 weeks still to go in the campaign, there's a really good chance they'll meet it. Now, fans contributing to the film have their choice of select backer rewards, depending on the amount that you contribute. Backer rewards include Blu-ray, DVD, and digital media bundles of the documentary, recognition on the film's website or film credits, officially licensed Star Trek Voyager lapel pins, t-shirts, a replica of Captain Janeway's iconic coffee mug, Zoom calls with cast members, and many more, all the way up to an associate producer credit in the film. Contributors even have the option of going on an away mission, including cast-guided tours of Voyager filming locations, such as Vasquez Rocks or Griffith Observatory, or a special Star Trek dinner, where contributors will dine with cast members from several Star Trek series. For more information on backer rewards and how to contribute, visit the campaign page at Indiegogo.com and be sure to follow @VoyDocumentary, that's the Voyager documentary, on social media. Next up, Marina Sirtis has moved back to the United Kingdom. In January, the Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Picard actor announced on Twitter that she was leaving Los Angeles, where she's lived for the last 35 years. And on Sunday, she tweeted again, but this time saying, "Goodbye, America." In her tweet, she posted a picture of herself in what looked like an airplane seat, complete with a face mask. In addition to her goodbye message, she included a red heart emoji, the folded hands emoji, which many people use as a thank you, and a sad face with a single tear. The replies from fans were a combination of safe travels, "We will miss you," and from some UK fans, "Welcome back." Sirtis was born in London to Greek parents, so in a way she's returning home. It's been just over a month since she originally announced the move, and in the meantime she's had both her COVID-19 vaccinations in preparation. When she first announced that she was leaving, Sirtis cited her work as the primary driver, saying, "Apart from Picard, all my work in the last 3 years has come from the UK. Having spent half my life here in America, it will be hard to leave. I hope I made a difference." Please join me in wishing Marina Sirtis safe travels and a swift settling in her new home. I've got Trek Trivia Tuesday here in just a moment, but first, a quick word from me. This show is supported by people like you through Patreon. Your support from as little as $1 a month helps us pay for our expenses like hosting and software, and helps us grow the show so we can bring you even more Star Trek news wherever you are. Please consider supporting the show on Patreon. You can find out more at patreon.com/Daily Star Trek News. That's patreon.com/Daily Star Trek News. And a big thanks to you for supporting this show. Now, it's time for Trek Trivia Tuesday. Did you know? In the movie Star Trek IV, The One with the Whales, the Enterprise bridge crew are not flying the Enterprise, which was destroyed in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. Spoilers, I know, sorry. Instead, they're flying a Klingon bird of prey, which they commandeered after defeating its captain, Commander Krug. In The One with the Whales, Dr. McCoy renames the bird of prey to be HMS Bounty, a reference to the famous ship of Mutiny on the Bounty fame. While Mutiny on the Bounty is the name of at least one novel and a couple films, the mutiny aboard the HMS Bounty was a real event. It took place in the South Pacific in 1789. The ship's captain, Lieutenant William Bligh, was forced off the ship with several of his supporters. They mostly survived and saw the mutineers prosecuted. However, several of the mutineers, including their leader, Lieutenant Fletcher Christian, fled to various locations, including the remote Pitcairn Island, where you can still visit the landmark Christian's Cave. Now, there's no trivia question for you this week, as we're having a slight programming change on Friday. For podcast listeners, you'll get the first part of last week's interview with Walter Koenig. And for you YouTube folks, you'll just have to put up with only the live stream, since I'm sure by now you've already watched the interview. I'll remind you about all of that, of course, later on in the week. Well, that's it for today's Daily Star Trek News from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Don't forget to check out the other great shows on the network at podcasts.roddenberry.com. Daily Star Trek News is produced by me, Alison Pitt, with selected stories by Chris Peterson. We're supported by people like you through Patreon. Find out how you can add your support at patreon.com/Daily Star Trek News. Finally, please make sure that you're signed up for the Daily Star Trek newsletter at dailystartreknews.com/contact. Get all the day's Star Trek news delivered straight to your inbox every weekday morning. I'm back tomorrow with more of the Star Trek news you need to know, and this week in Trek history. I'm Alison Pitt. Live long and prosper.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.